I made a D&D journal for my son, so we're gonna look at it. Hey y'all, welcome back to Dots and Beyond. My name is Beth. Today we're gonna take a quick peek inside this journal that I have set up for my son for a very specific D&D campaign. Now, if you're not familiar with that term, and after Stranger Things, I'm not entirely sure how you aren't, but D&D stands for Dungeons and Dragons, which is a role-playing game that was first launched in 1974. It's widely known as the first role-playing game on the planet, and of course that has morphed into all sorts of virtual games and gaming consoles and lots of different role-playing games that are now available. But D&D still very much popular, still very much considered nerd culture, and you know, some people still think that it's evil, not good. All of those things are false, but let me go ahead and show you what we've done now. A couple of things. One, I am not going to explain all of D&D culture in this video, so if you're looking for that, you can check somewhere else. If you want to stick around and see what's in here, that's great. Two, this is a very specific journal that was set up for a very specific campaign. We had lots of conversations about a D&D notes journal being ring bound or something that he could change or alter. Traveler's notebook where you could stick in little inserts. This is going to be for a singular campaign with a singular character and a singular adventure, and he felt like a bound notebook would be great for that. So this is an Archer and Olive notebook. This is a B5, so it is much larger than the standard A5 that we used. Hang on, let me grab my journal for 2023, which is an A5. So there is the difference there. He specifically selected the B5 size for this, and I have set him up a few spreads to get this campaign going. Now they've already started because mom was dragging her feet, and it is what it is. So let's go ahead and take a look. I haven't done anything here on the inside. I'm just going to leave that to Kenny to handle for himself, but here we go. So the name of this campaign is going to be Starfall. It is a completely homebrew campaign, which means it's not published anywhere. This was put together by his DM or dungeon master, and so I had a little bit of information to go on. This is the map for their Starfall campaign. I do have it in there sideways. It does go this way. There is some lore for this, and I'm going to let Kenny write that lore in for himself. Now, I have created some tabs in here. There's a lot of them. I am going to let Kenny put what the name of each of these things are, but we're going to go ahead and look. Here we have his index. These are the pages that I have already set up for him. His particular character in this game was sort of born from the stars and from the dust, and so I found this quote that says, "You are made from the dust of the stars' magic, being birthed from every step you take." And so I thought that would be a great quote to put in here for him. I asked him for a quote, he couldn't come up with one, so mom picked one. This font, portions of this font, a lot of it mostly is directly from the Celestial font, which is available on Creative Market. It is $18. I did buy it because I felt it was a very special font, and I was using enough of it true to character that I chose to just buy it. I also have some printed of the font here in the back, so I actually did use the actual font. Some of these are not 100% accurate to the font. Some of them I changed just for myself, and then some of them are pretty accurate recreations of. So, but again, it is called Celestial, and it is available on Creative Market. Next up, this is his character. So this is a friend drew up this character for him. He's sort of very much a steampunk character. He is an artificer. So we do have some information in here. Now he is going to use an erasable pen for this. We thought about going the route with little laminated spots and using a dry erase marker, but eventually we just bought the erasable pens, and that's what he's going to use for when he needs to put in stats, change stats, all of that sort of a thing. And I'm not going to go over what all of this D&D information is. You D&D nerds know exactly what else on this page. You can probably read it for yourselves, but the name of his character is Caster. And then here are a lot of his traits, his proficiencies, those things that are sort of permanent, we've gone ahead and put in. This is sort of his vision board for his character of Castor. I have left this space for Kenny to write his own backstory, but then we do have some things about his features and different things for his character right up here in the front of the journal. Spells and magic. So his character can cast spells. I have created him spell card pockets. So his different cards are in here. They have this gold starry background. I can print him new cards as he learns new spells. So these are not all the spells that he will learn over the course of his campaign. Again, we have some more spots where he'll be able to fill in some things, and then lots and lots of information about the character and the character's spell work. Next up are infusions, and again, not something that I am going to explain because in this particular case, I just don't think I can. He does have the capacity to learn up to 12 infusions, and so I have left him plenty of space. He writes smaller than even I do, so I think these 2 spreads will be enough. We'll find out. And we'll find out if that works, or again, like I said, we might find out that we had wished we had done this in a spiral bound notebook or something that we could add pages to in the places that we want to add pages to. But for now, we went with the bound option. More information on magical and tinkering. These are his battle stats, and a lot of that information. He has this specialty cannon that is part of his arm with his character. So we've kind of written all of that information. This is all the stuff that would be on a character sheet. It is on his character sheet, and he has a digital character sheet, but we really wanted to create something more tangible for this particular campaign. This is for him to put in information about the people that are playing with him and their particular characters. So he's information for the party, and then there are 3 other characters that are playing with him on this particular campaign. This is for him to write in vital information about those characters and keep it all in one location. Next up is a places log. So, in D&D, you travel across many maps, going to many towns. This is just a log for him to keep track of the places that they go, what country on the map. If you saw that map had some islands, so there's different countries. The description, key info, key NPCs, which is non-player characters. They're just kind of like your side characters in a movie. And then the sessions. So each time they play, we do have a session log for him later in here. He can come and write that character's name and how many times in different sessions have they encountered or that place. I have a character log too, that's coming later. And a loot log. So this is for him to be able to track the loot, whether it be gold and jewels or that sort of thing that they pick up. And again, it just has the item, the amount of the item that they picked up, the description, the value, the source, where it came from, the session where the loot was found, any notes he wants to write about the loot. And then we are going straight into his session notes. And this is where I have printed out some of the items from that particular celestial font. So you can see that I did deviate a little bit from it with my headers. It has 3 or 4 different versions. One of them has got these leaves coming through, which I chose not to use. I used everything that was sort of celestial, but I did want to just tie in with the cards that I had printed here with the same paper. And so we used that here for the beginning of his session log. I went ahead and put another teeny tiny version of the map. And then we wanted to leave as much space as possible for the session log here in the front. And this is where he'll put date, session number, starting XP for that session, any experience points that he earns in that session, and then the new total. His starting gold for the session, plus or minus gold during the session, and then the new total, and the same for magic, and then whatever page number that he is going to take full session notes on. So that's one of the things that he says he's not really great about doing in D&D is actually taking notes during their sessions. And so he forgets things like who picked up what item, or who they fought, or what other non-player characters were there. One of the things I do need to do in this is come along and number these. So if we look back, I have numbered these other pages. I do need to number this page, and then the rest of the journal will be for him to take his session notes, and so we'll need to number these as well. The last thing I need to show you is at the back, moving the other direction, we decided to put a non-player character log. And that's because this log can get very, very lengthy. And so we want it to have plenty of space to go this direction until it maybe bumps into those session notes. So for this, we have name, race of the character, description, the place where they found it, where the character was located, alignment, values, quest, and again the sessions where they encounter that non-player character. And we just made that decision to stick this back here because in D&D you can bump into a myriad of characters and this could get very long very quickly, and we wanted him to have room to go the other direction. So this is not a journal that I'm going to be using, but I hope it gives you an idea if you do happen to be a gamer or a role player. If you want to set up some sort of D&D journal, you can do one in Abound. Again, I do say that he specifically picked this for one character and one campaign that he doesn't think he's ever going to play again. So just keep that in mind, and then if he likes it and it's useful for him and he starts wanting to journal more often for his D&D campaigns, we will probably explore the idea of setting him up a version that can have pages added to it, changed, moved around, put in the orders that you want them in. But that is it for this particular D&D journal flip through. If you enjoyed it, please go ahead and give this video a big thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will catch you in the next one.